Tzaddik, great rabbi of his time, I believe. He was born in the year 1642 and he passed away in the year 1689, albeit I hear another opinion, maybe he was born in 1643. He was born, reported over, in Jerusalem, one of the four holy cities of Israel, and he would later on, I believe, pass away, I think, in Nikolsburg of Moravia, respectively, I believe, around 1689. That was naturally the Czech Republic, or maybe it was Czechoslovakia at that point in time, but I'll double check, in of itself. Now, he would become a chief rabbi of the Jewish community in Belgrade, in the old Yugoslavia, respectively. I think that was for a 20-year period, if I'm not mistaken, between 1668, 1688, and various different other positions he would take on in of itself. So we are going to explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. So as we said before, he was born in Jerusalem, and it's reported over he was a descendant of Rabbi Moshe Almosnino. Now, the great rabbi, he was a great thinker. He was from Saloniki, a commentator, a philosopher, and the rabbi I believe we've mentioned about on a few occasions in this series. And I think he was a descendant or somehow related also from Rabbi Yehuda Lirma. He himself happened to be, I believe, the chief rabbi of Belgrade between the years 1617 to 1642. And he himself, Rabbi Lirma, would establish a yeshiva, I think, during that point in time, which became a center within regards to halachic debate and halachic discussion in of itself. Now, he would study in yeshiva, which was, I think, named Bet Yaakov Yeshiva. I think at that point in time was the largest yeshiva in Jerusalem during the 17th century, which actually naturally was, I believe, founded by Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov Hagiz, I think, a place we've once again spoken on various occasions before. At that point in time, I believe Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov Hagiz was, I think, very, very much connected to the yeshiva, and he was close with Rav Avram Natan ben Elisha Ashkenazi, the famous another person that we've mentioned about before. I think he actually happened to be Rav Avram Natan ben Elisha, known as Nathan the Gazan. Actually, interesting enough, he was a Kabbalist, and I believe he was actually connected to the Shabtai Tzvi movement. He was like a main, let's just say, person over there at that stage in time, and it's someone we've spoken about on various occasions before, and yeah, that is maybe for another topic in of itself. But in the year 1660, he would arrive in Belgrade and would study under Rav Simcha ben Gershon HaKohen, or Frudman, to give him his precise name. I think he himself, Rav Simcha, was a chief rabbi between 1642 to 1668 in Belgrade, respectively, and he was a chief rabbi in other places also, if I'm not mistaken. So he would be close to him. And I think when he went, eventually, Rav Simcha went to Budapest, he was offered, Rabbi Yosef Almosnino would be appointed the chief rabbi of Belgrade in his place. He was, let's just say, at that point in time, Belgrade was seen as a center within regards to halachic discussion, halachic law, the various different rulings that appear in the She'elot and Tshuvot, question and answers book, and there was exchanges of letters, including various different halachic consultations with other great rabbanim, including the famous Rabbi Moshe Ibn Habib. He happened to be a Rishon LeZion at the time, and the Rosh Yeshiva in Jerusalem, and Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Ashkenazi, who I believe also known as a Chacham Tzvi, a really brilliant rabbi who we just mentioned about, I think, in the last week. So there was much discussion at that point in time. I think Rabbi Moshe Galante, the second, who was a Rishon LeZion and chief rabbi of Jerusalem in the 17th century, they were very much in debate and in connection. I think it's reported over that there was a very bad fire that broke out in Belgrade during his time, and the Beit Midrash library was burned, and many of Rabbi Almosnino's writings unfortunately got burned also. Now, some people would have said he might have had some ties within regards to the Shabtai Tzvi movement, the Sabbatian movement. Obviously, we stated at the beginning he had connection with Nathan the Gazan, let's just say. Avram Natan ben Elisha Chaim Halevi Ashkenazi was known as Nathan the Gazan. So we did mention that before. And I think during his time, the Belgrade community sent two emissaries to Shabtai Tzvi, it's reported over. I think there was distribution of letters of Nathan the Gazan, and so that is another topic onto itself, but seemingly there was some connection. I'm not sure if he renounced or when he renounced, and all details within regards to that, but I would recommend everyone to look into that. Now, I believe in 1688, Belgrade would be captured by the Habsburg army, and it reported over that Rabbi Almosnino and 45, let's say, wealthy members of the community were taken into custody in Nikolsburg, over there. That's naturally in the Czech Republic, and they tried to ransom the captives for large sums of money. I think in 1689 he was still in captivity, and he passed away at that point in time. And I think by those, let's say, anti-Semitic soldiers, they took his writings and they sold it to the Ottomans and brought it at equal cost. I think his sons Yitzhak, Yehuda, and Simcha would purchase them and publish them into 2 volumes untitled Edut Yosef. I think they had a consent at that point in time. Well, another famous rabbi we've mentioned about on various occasions before, Rabbi Chaim Alfanderi, is another rabbi. I believe we did a video on him. Now, these books will be printed, I think, eventually. I believe the first one being printed in the year 1711 and the second one being printed in the year 1733, respectively, which is interesting. Now, I do read from someone else. Yeah, I think these books are actually printed in Constantinople, I believe. It's written over. And obviously, we see that his tenure, especially in Belgrade, was a tough one, especially with the fires and everything else. It's reported over that he would actually travel a lot. He traveled to Germany, I think, at one stage in time, I think to ransom, let's say, the escaping of Jews captured by Ottomans. And he would travel around quite a lot also, it's reported over. So I would recommend everyone to learn more about the famous Rabbi Yitzhak Almosnino, and learn more about them. A friends of a community here, we're learning about the great or famous Oriental rabbis, let's just say, of yesteryear. We've covered about 900 great Chachamim. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. If anyone's interested in watching these videos, please share these videos to other people. Let's learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. So wishing you all well. Take care and be well.